Lawmakers in Congress are now debating on new legislation that would affect monthly benefit check amounts. This could mean a benefit increase or benefit decrease. Economists have also released new details on changes for Social Security recipients and what can you guys expect in just a few days. So, soaring inflation is generally bad news for consumers, and that extends to seniors. In fact, many seniors are more likely to get hurt by rising costs of living because Social Security commonly does a poor job of keeping pace with inflation. All you have to do is take a look at this year's cost of living adjustment. Seniors on Social Security saw the benefits increase by 6% at the start of 2022, but since then, the rate of inflation has well outpaced that increase. No matter what 2023's Social Security COLA amounts to, it's fair to say that it will be notably higher than the 5.9% boost that seniors got this year. At one point, experts were saying that seniors could see a COLA as high as 11% in 2023. And so now the House Ways and Means Committee is also considering a bill that would scrape provisions under the current law that shrinks Social Security payouts for some beneficiaries with government pensions. The bill is from Representative Rodney Davis. It will get rid of two provisions that aim to prevent overly generous benefits for former public sector workers or their spouses who qualify for government pensions. But it may also be entitled to Social Security payments. And it's the windfall elimination provision. It limited Social Security for 2 million people who qualified for benefits and had a separate pension. As currently written, everybody, Davis's bill would get rid of both restrictions for benefits payable after December of this year. Because it would lead Social Security to pay out more in benefits, it would actually accelerate the timeline for when the program is expected to become insolvent by a year. So the SSI estimates that the measure would drain the Social Security Trust Fund by $146 billion over a decade. Although the Congressional Budget Office has not weighed in with a formal cost estimate yet. So while the bill is widely backed on Capitol Hill, it's actually got some criticism from many Democrats. And the Committee for Responsible Federal Budget, everybody, said this. A group of deficit hawks argued that in a provision, while the provisions that Davis' bill would eliminate are imperfect, they would actually get rid of them and lead to significant overpayments and weaken Social Security's finances. The group said striking the provisions would also disproportionately benefit higher income thresholds. And now Senate Republicans introduced a bill that would actually roll back the prescription pricing reforms included in the sweeping Inflation Reduction Act, including the measures allowing Medicaid to negotiate prescription prices and capping annual prescription expenses for many seniors. Republican Senator James Lankford, Mike Lee, and many others like Marco Rubio introduced the Protecting Prescription Innovation Act, saying they wanted to pull back government authority over the prices of prescription covered by Medicare. The Inflation Reduction Act was passed and signed into law in August with no Republicans voting for it, and now the bill also allows for Medicare to negotiate prescription prices for the first time in the program's history. It also placed a $2,000 out-of-pocket cap on annual prescription costs for seniors on Medicaid, as well as a $35 monthly cap for insulin. And if passed, the bill states it would make it so that the prescription pricing measures in the Inflation Reduction Act had never been enacted. Democrats who've been campaigning off of the Inflation Reduction Act have actually warned Republicans will seek to repeal the sweeping cost reduction package if they take back control of Congress. President Biden echoed these warnings earlier this week and said they're going to appeal it, the Inflation Reduction Act, if they gain more control of Congress. This means the power we just gave Medicare to negotiate prescription prices has actually gone away.
Mr. Chairman, and thank you for the peanuts. We need to energy. So, a general welcome to you and your family. To ensure the fitness of nominees for appointment to senior positions within any of the departments, I ask the following two initial questions of all nominees in any of the committees that I sit on, so I will ask you these initial questions. Since you became a legal adult, have you ever made unwanted requests for sexual favors or committed any verbal or physical harassment or assault of a sexual nature?
No.
Have you ever faced discipline or entered into a settlement related to this kind of conduct?
No.
General, over the past several years, the Regional SATCOM Support Center Pacific has experienced a significant amount of mission growth as
economists tell us, spend the money, invest the money for those who need it the most, because they will spend it, it will be a stimulus, or at least a stabilization and that's a good thing.
The argument is over how much is appropriate
at this particular juncture as we struggle to get the economy back.
According to state officials in Connecticut, healthcare workers, grocery store employees, and private sector employees who staffed vital services during the first 2 years of the crisis can begin applying for up to $1,000. It won't be clear until early October where the applicants will receive as much as $1,000, and that's because legislators and the governor, Ned Lamont, allocated just $30 million for the program. He said that Connecticut's essential workers have gone above and beyond during the crisis to keep the state running and safe. The new premium pay program is another way for us to return the favor, for these funds are truly meaningful. Every essential worker needs to know that they're available. To be eligible, an applicant must have worked between March 10th and May 7th of 2022 in one of these occupations that the state has listed. Some of the frontline workers in these categories include healthcare personnel. Eligible applicants must earn at least. Some of the frontline workers in these categories include healthcare personnel, food and agricultural workers, grocery store staff, and public transit workers. Applicants must earn less than $150,000 per year and cannot be employed by a federal or state entity. Full-time workers who earn less than $100,000 can apply for a $1,000 grant. Those earning more than $100,000 but less than $150,000 are eligible for grants on a sliding scale, ranging as low as $200. Part-timers working less than 30 hours a week can apply for a $500 grant. The application period will run until October 1st, and the goal is to process requests within a 60-day window. And for the company of Lowe's, the CEO said that in recognition of high inflation, we're providing $55 million in bonuses to our hourly frontline associates this quarter. And though there has been a slight decrease in gas and travel costs, recently the impacts of inflation are still affecting Americans, making it tougher for families to afford groceries and other essential goods. Microsoft, ExxonMobil, Walmart, USA have also offered bonuses, pay raises, and even gift cards to employees. But still, many of the nation's employers are still not paying their workers a living wage. The company website states that Lowe's employs around 300,000 associates, but it is not specified how much money each worker will receive and over what time period.
Between the White House and administration and Democrats up on Capitol Hill. Earlier today, both the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, and the Senate Republican leader, the Senate Majority Leader, Mitch McConnell, were on CNBC, and they explained really the fundamental philosophical dilemma here, which is all about how much is the U.S. government going to spend. Here's what they said.
Back on its feet and get the country in a place where it can sustain itself until we get a vaccine.
Now, Melissa, lawmakers had talked about an idea of having a deal by Friday morning. It looks like there's not a whole lot of time to pull something that big together by that timeline. But one of the questions about this meeting on Capitol Hill that's going on now is, can they at least agree to that price tag? Can they come up with a figure? Republicans have been around $1 trillion. Democrats have been $3 trillion or higher. Can they agree on a compromise figure? Can they just simply call it $2 trillion and start negotiating about what's going to be in there? That might be something that's doable this hour, but we'll wait and see what they say when they come out of those closed doors.
That Friday deadline is tomorrow, Friday, right, Eamon? Not next